When a narcissist realizes you're too strong, they'll use this one last desperate move, and 99% of people fall for it. Here's how to flip the script instantly. This isn't about petty manipulation. This is the final act, the last card they play when control slips from their fingers. It's subtle, calculated, and often disguised as vulnerability. You'll think they've changed. You'll question your strength. That's the trap. But today, we're going to expose it. You'll learn exactly what this tactic looks like, why it works on almost everyone, and how to shut it down with clarity, power, and zero guilt. Because when you stop playing their game, you win. And this time, for good, when they realize you're too strong, there's a moment that shifts the dynamic entirely. It's not loud, it's not dramatic. It's quiet, sudden, and irreversible. It's the moment the narcissist sees that you're no longer falling for it. You're not reacting to their bait. You're not chasing, explaining, or apologizing anymore. You're steady, detached, focused. That's when the power starts to shift. And they feel it immediately. To someone with a narcissistic personality, control isn't optional. It's oxygen. So when they sense they're losing it, when you no longer look at them with fear, guilt, or longing, they panic. But they'll never show it like panic, not at first. Instead, they'll scan for weakness. They'll test your silence. They'll prod at your confidence, waiting for you to flinch. And when you don't, they switch strategy. This is where most people get blindsided, because up until now, you've been fighting off obvious manipulation, gaslighting, guilt tripping, outbursts, maybe even threats. But now they go subtle. They won't lash out, they'll collapse. They'll play the role of victim. Suddenly, they're wounded, misunderstood, broken. You'll hear things like, "I know I messed up. I'm just scared of losing you. No one's ever stuck around. I guess I don't deserve love. You're so strong. I wish I could be more like you." Don't be fooled. This isn't surrender. It's strategy. It's the beginning of the final manipulation, the last card they play when nothing else works. A performance designed to appeal to your compassion, not your logic. And if you're not ready for it, it'll work. Why they do it. A narcissist survives on supply attention, admiration, emotional reactions. When you stop giving it, they go into withdrawal. And they'll do anything to get it back, even if that means pretending to be weak. They know your patterns. They know how empathy lives in your bones. And they know exactly how to weaponize that empathy against you. When they sense they've lost their grip, they'll aim to make you question your strength. That's their last chance at pulling you back into the cycle. But you don't owe them another round. Here's what you will owe yourself. Awareness. Awareness of the game. Awareness of the role you used to play. And awareness of how far you've come just by not reacting the same way you used to. This moment, the moment you realize they've shifted from aggression to fake surrender, is the moment you take the lead. It's where you stop dancing to their rhythm and start writing your own rules. Because once you see through the trick, they've already lost. The final trick, reverse victim play. When brute force stops working, narcissists pivot to something more insidious, something that looks like softness, but isn't. This is the reverse victim play. They flip the script. Suddenly, they're the one who's been hurt. They're the one struggling. And you, the person who dared to walk away, set a boundary, or grow stronger, are the one causing the pain. Let's be clear. This isn't real vulnerability. It's a calculated move, a trap, their last-ditch effort to reel you back in. How it sounds. You'll hear things like, "I've been doing a lot of thinking. I realize I pushed you away. I was afraid of how much I loved you. I self-sabotaged. You were always too good for me. I don't deserve you." At first glance, it sounds like growth, accountability, maybe even change. But look closer. There's a pattern in these statements. They all center on them, their pain, their realization, their drama. You're not part of a healthy conversation. You're a captive audience to a monologue designed to soften your spine. And if that doesn't work, they'll escalate. They'll throw in grief, nostalgia, and the ghost of the person you thought they were. Remember how we used to laugh? No one else gets me like you. I miss us. I miss who I was with you. These lines are dangerous, not because they're dramatic, but because they're familiar. They mirror your own memories. They hijack your empathy. And if you're not ready, they'll create a pause in your conviction, a second thought, a hesitation. That's all they need. Why this trick works on 99% of people, because most people want to believe in redemption. Especially if you've been through the cycle before, part of you still wants closure, validation, a moment that says, it wasn't all in my head. This tactic is designed to give you that, but only on the surface. In reality, it's a Trojan horse. Inside the apology is manipulation. Inside the sorrow is control. They're not asking for forgiveness, they're asking for access. And when you give them that access again, the cycle restarts. They love bomb you. They test your loyalty. They wait for you to drop your guard. Then slowly, they reintroduce the pressure, the criticism, the control. And because it comes gradually, wrapped in the language of growth and healing, you may not even notice until it's too late. Emotional blackmail in disguise. Some narcissists go a step further. They'll spiral publicly, post vague messages, reach out to your friends, send sad selfies, even threaten self-harm. All of it is designed to make you feel one thing: responsible. If you were ever emotionally bonded to them, even slightly, these tactics can hit hard. Guilt is powerful. But here's the truth. You are not responsible for their healing. You are not responsible for their emotional regulation. You are not the reason they're suffering. They chose manipulation over intimacy, power over partnership, ego over honesty. That's not your burden to fix. When they pretend to be broken just to get you to bend, they're not seeking help, they're seeking leverage. What to watch for? Here are signs the vulnerability you're seeing is a manipulation tactic. The apology includes a guilt trip. I'm sorry, but you hurt me too. They demand emotional labor from you, even while owning their mistakes. Their change is sudden and dramatic, not gradual or supported by real actions. They start loving you more intensely when you try to walk away. You feel emotionally exhausted instead of emotionally heard. What to do when you see it? Call it what it is. Not out loud, not to them, to yourself. Say it clearly. This is the final manipulation. This is control dressed up as regret. Then respond with action, not explanation. If you're already out, stay out. No contact, no explanation, no slow goodbye. They know what they're doing. You don't owe them clarity. They'll only twist. If you're still untangling, move with strength. Set sharp boundaries. Keep your emotional energy guarded and watch their reaction when you don't fold. You'll see the mask slip. You always do. This is their final trick because it's the one most people fall for. But when you hold steady, when you don't respond with guilt, fear, or fantasy, you break the cycle for good. The psychology behind the manipulation: narcissistic manipulation doesn't work because it's clever. It works because it hijacks your biology, your psychology, and your empathy. Let's break it down. The empathy trap. Most narcissists don't target the weak. They target the deeply empathetic. People who give the benefit of the doubt. People who want to understand, not control. People who love deeply and assume others do too. Empathy is their playground. When you see someone struggling, your instinct is to help, to listen, to hold space. But narcissists use that instinct against you. They present emotional pain not as a truth, but as a tool. If they can make you feel sorry for them, they can make you bend. They don't need you to believe them. They just need you to feel for them. That's the switch. They bypass logic and go straight to emotion. Trauma bonding. Here's the darker part. This isn't just about guilt or kindness. This is about chemical addiction. Trauma bonding happens when a cycle of abuse is followed by intermittent reward affection, apology, or intimacy. Your brain starts linking pain with love. You start chasing approval from the same person who withholds it. The highs are euphoric, the lows are devastating. And that inconsistency creates a bond stronger than reason. It's the same mechanism behind gambling addiction. You never know when the slot machine will pay out. So you keep pulling the lever, hoping for the good version of them to return. And when they pretend to change, your brain lights up. This is it, you think. They finally get it. That's not hope. That's a trauma loop. Breaking it means breaking your attachment to the illusion. Cognitive dissonance. When who you believe someone is doesn't match how they treat you, your brain can't compute. That's cognitive dissonance. You know they're toxic, but they're also charming, funny, sometimes even loving. So your mind tries to protect itself. It rationalizes, minimizes, justifies. Because the idea that someone you trusted could be calculated and cruel, that's hard to face. So instead, you say, they're just going through something. No one's perfect. It's partly my fault too. This mental fog is exactly what narcissists rely on. They want you confused, conflicted, uncertain, because the moment you see clearly, you're gone. Projection and gaslighting. Another psychological weapon they use, projection. They accuse you of what they're doing. Cheating, lying, manipulating. Why? Because if you're defending yourself, you're distracted, you're off balance. And when that doesn't work, they move to gaslighting. They twist your words, deny your reality, rewrite history. And after enough time, you start to question your own memory, your own instincts, your own sanity. It's not an accident. It's a tactic. The goal, keep you dependent, keep you doubting, keep you reachable. Red flags you must stop. Ignoring, you knew something was off long before the chaos, long before the apology. Your gut spoke. You just didn't listen. Now it's time to change that. Here are the red flags most people miss or explain away. 1, love bombing, disguised as intensity. They come on fast. Heavy praise, constant attention, sudden declarations of love. It feels magical like fate, but it's a tactic, a way to hook you before you can think critically. They're not building trust. They're manufacturing dependency. 2, control posing as care. They check in constantly, ask where you are, who you're with. At first it feels like concern, but soon it feels like surveillance. Just worried about you becomes you didn't answer fast enough. That's not care. That's control wrapped in affection. 3, the victim complex. Everything is someone else's fault. The ex was crazy. The boss was unfair. The family doesn't understand them. You think, wow, they've been hurt a lot. But what's actually happening is blame deflection. They're setting the stage so when they hurt you, you'll already believe they're the real victim. 4, disguised apologies. I'm sorry you feel that way. I guess I can't do anything right. I didn't mean it like that. You're too sensitive. These are not apologies. They're deflections. Watch how their remorse always ends with you being wrong. 5, hot and cold behavior. One day they're adoring. The next, distant. 1 week they're planning a future. The next, they're punishing you with silence. This isn't emotional instability. It's control by confusion. The power moves that break the cycle. Now we flip it. Now we take everything they've used and render it useless. 1, emotional detachment. Stop engaging with their emotions as if they're genuine. You don't need to react, explain, or fix anything. Let their chaos sit in silence. Silence is power. Disengagement is strength. 2, the gray rock method. Be uninteresting, flat, unemotional. When they try to provoke a reaction, give them nothing. Be boring, be vague, be unavailable. They feed off drama, starve them. 3, tactical, no contact. block, mute, delete. It's not petty, it's protection. No contact means no loopholes, no texts, no just checking in, no shared Spotify playlists, no more opportunities to manipulate you through nostalgia or fake peace. 4, iron boundaries. Set them, keep them, repeat them. I'm not discussing this. I won't tolerate that behavior. This is not up for debate. Say it once, then enforce it without apology. 5, reclaiming reality. Start speaking truth, especially to yourself. It wasn't love, it was control. I was manipulated, not weak. I don't need to fix them to be valuable. Once you name what happened, you strip it of its power. Owning your strength after the storm. Healing doesn't mean waking up happy. It means waking up honest. It's the first deep breath after survival. The first moment you look in the mirror and don't see shame, just a person who finally chose truth over illusion. And it's not a straight path. It's jagged, raw, but it's yours. The storm is over. But now you begin the work of stepping into your own life again with both feet planted, no one else pulling the strings. 1, redefine strength. Strength was never about enduring mistreatment. It was never about staying to prove your worth. That wasn't love. It was survival in a war zone someone else created. Real strength, it's not loud. It's not aggressive. It's not about proving anything. It's walking away without the closure you were promised. It's choosing your own peace over their chaos. It's saying, I deserve more, and not backing down from that truth, even when you're shaking. Let go of the idea that strength means staying composed. Sometimes strength is falling apart and still refusing to go back. Sometimes strength is whispering no more when your voice has been buried for years. You didn't fail. You evolved. 2, rebuild identity. A narcissist doesn't just break your heart, they fracture your sense of self. You start to shrink to fit their version of you. You question your thoughts, your worth, your instincts. That's not love, that's erasure. Now, you reclaim the pieces, one truth at a time. I am not too much. I'm not hard to love. They just didn't know how to love without control. I'm not crazy. I was being emotionally played. Start rewriting the story they tried to write for you. Choose your name, your values, your boundaries. Ask yourself, who was I before them? Who am I when I'm not afraid? Because the goal is not to get back to who you were. It's to become who you were always meant to be, but were never allowed to fully express. You were never broken. You were buried. Now, you dig yourself out. 3, emotional detox. Don't skip the rage. Don't bypass the grief. This isn't about being graceful. It's about being real. Because what happened to you wasn't just confusing, it was abuse dressed up as affection. So, yes, cry, grieve what you thought it was, mourn the relationship that never truly existed the way you believed, feel the anger, name the betrayal. You're not crazy for being devastated. You're not weak for feeling heartbreak. You're detoxing from emotional poison layer by layer. Let it move through you. Let it come out in sobs, in writing, in silence, in movement. Whatever it takes, let it out. Because holding it in only keeps them in. Burn the fantasy, mourn the mask, then stand in what's real. In 4, relearn trust and safety. After a narcissist, everyone feels like a threat. You second-guess kindness. You wait for the mask to drop. You question your ability to judge character. That's normal and temporary. But healing means relearning how to trust not just others, but yourself. Start here. My intuition is not broken. I don't need to be perfect to be safe. It's not my job to fix anyone ever again. You get to be discerning now. You get to ask questions. You get to say no without guilt. You get to vet people based on action, not apology. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone earns your vulnerability. That's not cold, that's wise. You don't have to shut down your heart. Just stop handing it to people who treat it like leverage. Start with yourself. Learn how to feel safe in your own skin, in your own space, in your own decisions. That's the foundation. That's the beginning of real trust. 5, the quiet end. You've seen the game, you know the script, you've read the same apology in 100 forms, and now you finally see the pattern. That's the win. And here's the twist. You don't need a grand finale. You don't need revenge. You don't even need their understanding. Because this chapter doesn't end with confrontation. It ends with clarity. You end it when you stop needing anything from them at all. No dramatic exit, no big speech, just gone. You exit with silence, with power, with peace. This is your moment to reclaim the pen, to say without a word, I saw what you did. I know who I am now. You don't get to shape the next chapter. And then you walk, not to teach them a lesson, not to punish them, but because you finally believe you deserve a life without mind games, without emotional ransom, without fear. You're not bitter. You're done. And that's the difference. When a narcissist sees you as too strong to manipulate, they panic. They play their final trick. But now you've seen the hand, you know the move, you hold the mirror. This time, the game ends with you walking without guilt, without fear, and without ever looking back. Because you were never too much. You were just too powerful for someone who needed you small. And now you rise.